All right, welcome to the Explainer. We're here to break down the big ideas, and today, oh boy, we are tackling the absolute mountain of hype around AGI, artificial general intelligence. And we're asking a pretty wild question. Is AGI canceled?
So you've seen stuff like this, right? Elon Musk saying the new Grok has a non-trivial chance of hitting AGI. And that's kind of the story we've all been told. Just make the models bigger, feed them more data, and bam, AGI is inevitable. Seems logical enough, I guess.
But here's the twist. What if a huge 3-year-long experiment just finished, and its findings point in the complete opposite direction? What if all this time we haven't even been on the right road?
Okay, so here's how we're going to unpack this. First, we'll tackle that idea of inevitable AGI. Then we'll get into a whole new definition of intelligence. We've got a great analogy, roads versus the road builders. We'll look at the real test for AGI, and then we'll land on why, yeah, it's canceled. For now.
All right, first section, the inevitable AGI. Let's talk about how all that hype is suddenly hitting a brick wall.
And here's the core of it. The result of that experiment is basically saying AGI is just not happening with our current approach. You see, this isn't an engineering problem, like building a bigger bridge. It's a scientific one. That means we don't just need better tools, we literally don't even have the blueprint. We're missing the fundamental theory.
So that kind of begs the question, right? A lot of this confusion comes down to how we're even defining intelligence. Turns out, the problem might not be the tech, it's the term itself. Okay, check this out. For the longest time, the old definition of intelligence, even among the experts, was basically having a giant library of facts and patterns. It was all about knowing things. But the new definition, well, it flips that on its head. It says real intelligence isn't about having the patterns, it's the ability to build new patterns. It's about the process of learning, not just the stuff you've already learned. And to make that idea really stick, there's this fantastic analogy that just makes it all click. Roads versus the people who build them. Think about it like this. Today's AI, it's like having the most incredible, detailed map of every road in the world. A vast network of pre-built roads. It can get you from point A to point B with superhuman skill, as long as a road already exists. It's operating on static knowledge. But true intelligence, that's the road building company. It doesn't just know the roads, it can create entirely new ones to get to places no one's ever been. It's all about dynamic learning. So this is the new target, right? According to thinkers like Chollet, intelligence is this ability to pick up new skills on the fly. You're constantly building, reshaping, and refining what you know when you face a new problem. It's not a static library. It's a living, breathing workshop. So, that's the big question then. If we're looking for this road builder intelligence, how do you even test for it? Well, that's where this benchmark called ARC comes in. And believe me, it changed everything. The whole point of the ARC benchmark was to be unbeatable by memorization. It was designed to completely resist static knowledge. The puzzles in it are totally unique, things an AI would have never, ever seen on the internet. It's all about measuring real, on-the-fly problem solving. And this is what was so revealing. You see, the problems in ARC were designed to be completely novel, and to solve them, models had to adjust their strategy in the moment. For a long time, just making models bigger did absolutely nothing to their ARC scores. They hit a wall. But then, a new type of model, one with so-called reasoning abilities, came along, and suddenly the scores started to go up. It was a huge leap forward, proving that dynamic skill, not just more data, was the real game changer. Okay, so that brings us to the big finish. Canceled for now. If just making things bigger isn't the answer, what are the real hurdles we need to jump to actually build one of these road builders? And look, the problems are not small. We're talking about fundamental, unsolved scientific challenges. We would need to somehow marry training and inference so that AI is always learning, not just in a separate training phase. We need to make learning automatic, cheap, and lightning fast. Think about it. A human can learn something from 1 or 2 examples. An AI needs millions. That efficiency gap is massive. And the biggest problem of all? We need a whole new theoretical framework for dynamic learning. We're not even sure what the science looks like yet. So what does this all mean for you? Well, here's the good news. AI is going to keep getting better at automating tasks. It's an amazing tool, but it's probably not going to be competitive enough to truly take your job. Not until it can learn dynamically the way we do. We humans, we are the road builders. We can adapt, we can pivot, we can add value on top of these incredibly powerful, but ultimately static systems.
So yeah, we're getting way better at building roads. The maps are getting incredible. But the real question is, when will we learn how to build the road builder? Because the evidence is mounting that AGI isn't some engineering finish line we're about to cross. It's a deep, fundamental scientific mystery that we've barely even begun to understand.